I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson.
Well, I'm gonna show you here a video with some very strange stuff going on. But first of all, it is amazing how all the trolls, or should we call them losers, or whatever name we want to give them, shills, such as Francesco, who is on my butt because I'm talking about Nibiru. Yeah, because they don't like to talk about Nibiru. They don't like to talk about chemtrails. But if you're talking about the weather, it's okay. No one says anything. If you talk about Ebola, well, it's okay. No one says anything. Isn't that the truth? So, what you're watching here, let's just give them a big applause for their wasted time trying to silence us with ridicule and so on. And I was told that the reason why I wear sunglasses as Agent Smith, which is a little gimmick I make, you know, a little comedy, is because I'm either stoned or I am drunk. Let me tell you one thing. I'm a truck driver, and I'm driving guns and ammo for the patriots of United States of America, and I have done that since February 16, 2014. Yeah, so I'm supplying our patriots with what they need to fight tyranny. Okay? And I'm not drunk and I'm not stoned, because this job, that requires total awareness, total responsibility. And it seems like you shills, you perps out there, you don't got any responsibility at all. All you have is to sit here and be idiots. Well, what you're watching here on this video, there's a little noise out here. That's something I can't help. I'm sitting on a drop yard right now, waiting for getting my next important load. This is from Pennsylvania, and I am in Pennsylvania, so I thought it would be prudent to make the video about what actually taking place. I'm driving on I-81 north in Pennsylvania, no south, going towards I-80 back to Indiana, where I live. Well, you have in a center picture here, or you have a little bright dot on the sky. That's our moon, and the sun has already set behind the sky, or the mountain ridges, and something very strange is going on in the sky. And I have earlier addressed a subject called the veil, like a veil is coming in over us at sunrise and at sunset. And I must say, that's not something in this video that I'm seeing with my naked eye. I can see that it's getting dark. I can see the sun is setting. I can see the moon. I can see the traffic. But once in a while I glance over at my desktop. Yeah, also on walkie, channel 1, so they can communicate when I'm done loading. Well, I can't see with the naked eye, but once in a while I glance over and make sure my recording is still running and it didn't freeze up and stuff, and it looks okay. And then I noticed something in the sky, something that freaked me out, because I cannot see that with my naked eye, and you will see it yourself as we go along in this movie here. And it looks a little dark, but it kind of looks pretty too. And my webcam is actually set to be focused clear on the sky and not so much the traffic. I can do that, of course, but what I'm mostly having the webcam in my truck for is to film chemtrails and what is actually going on in our sky, because weird stuff is going on in our sky, and you can already see now something is looking strange on the sky. look up in left side and follow what's going on there. It's very strange. It looks like a blanket is being put in over us. And then today I saw a video on Facebook. I don't have the link, I can't get the link because my phone won't do that. But it is showing that someone on a news station was going out to film the moon for the fun of it. And there was kind of like a green disc going in front of the moon. And suddenly, very rapidly, clouds forming and rushing in to cover the moon. So it seemed like, looking at that video, that there was some sort of glitch in the matrix, as I'm sometimes speaking about. There is definitely something strange going on in our sky that is very hard to explain. But it's not hard to explain that we have a brown dwarf. I have already in my video, Nibiru the Destroyer is near, pointed out with an arrow where you exactly see where this brown dwarf star is. And it's there. There is no dispute about it. And the veil is in over our heads here, and there's no dispute about it. But what are we actually looking at? Are we looking at something they holographically have created with the chemtrails? So in order for us to, more or less not see what's really going on the sky, and could it just be that we can't see our moon for real, but they are emulating a picture of the moon, and sometimes the moon looks like the man in the moon is tilting way too much to one side than it normally should do, because the moon is not actually rotating on its axis. It is not flipping up and down, but sometimes we see the man in the moon is in different positions. Sometimes it's freaking 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and sometimes it's all the way down to 5 o'clock the legs of the man in the moon is. And it is highly peculiar. Very peculiar. But there was someone, when I made my video, that's where all the trolls came out, where I was accused of being either stoned or drunk or insane, right? Stabilized chaos. Get off my channel, you're not welcome anymore. I don't care who you are, what you are, get off my channel. That there was something on these comets floating around, and in this case this Rosetta comet that a Russian craft is up and taking pictures of, and there is definitely evidence of structures. And one suggested that that might be and could be the remnants of the Anunnaki tale, that the planet Tiamat got destroyed, meaning collision with another space object, which in this case could be one of the 4 planets that is orbiting the brown dwarf, the so-called Nibiru system. That is not absolutely impossible. And if you look at all the planets except the gas giants, but if you look at the inner planets, you see where the largest and most significant bombardment of crater impacts are. They are on the southern hemisphere, on all the inner planets, meaning Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. So it bears the evidence that something from underneath came up and slammed into these planets. And maybe one of these planets, according to the Anunnaki, in reality collided with a planet that was in between Jupiter and Mars, which is now the asteroid belt. And out of that we probably also have what we call comets. And someone suggested that comets comes from a completely different area. I'm not really in the mood for listening to that crap, because I don't really see that's happening. But I do see that it is a possibility that that asteroid belt was created after the collision, and they started their own orbiting or fixed orbit around our sun in between Mars and Jupiter, and some of the fragments got thrown out in an elliptic orbit. And in this case we have a Russian probe up there taking pictures of a comet, and that bears evidence of symmetric shapes, structures. There is definitely there. There's also some new pictures coming out that I will put in the end of this video, and they're quite spectacular too. That it could be that that was some of the crushed fragments from the collision that then got flung out, and of course whatever was there died, but the structures are left behind. That is a distinct possibility, absolutely. But what you just watched here on I-81 is kind of creepy. I think it's creepy, beyond creepy what I'm looking at. But I've never seen anything like that before. This is just crazy. You know, I have explained to you that chemtrails is definitely a possibility used to create holographic imagery. It is also able, with the right frequency, to block out certain colors in the sky, or emulate false colors in the sky through the substance called barium niobate. Niobate is called barium niobate, and that is the same, as I said, that is what is inside the tube of a TV. The old TVs, not the digitals, but the old TV with the big glass screen. That's barium niobate, and that picks up frequencies, and these frequencies are translated into different colors. And as you have seen, LCD screens and plasma screens are not able to emulate correct colors as they would be seen with the natural eye, your eye. They are slightly different, but the old TV tubes are able to emulate any color in its true form through the bionate or barium niobate, which is on the surface of the TV screen inside. That is that gray layer. If you ever seen a TV tube inside, that's kind of like a gray layer, and that is the barium niobate that then translate the frequencies coming from the TV tube transmitter, which is sitting on the pointy part of the TV screen. So what are we actually looking at when we're looking at our sky? The clouds looks funny. They don't look like they used to. I don't think they do. I have many repeating clouds. I also have what is sometimes looking like cumulus nimbus clouds, but yet you can see there's something not entirely right with them. But sometimes you do really see real cumulus nimbus clouds. And the clouds I'm looking at right now looks like true nimbus, but there's something about them which is a little odd, a little off. And that is, they are not so like a cauliflower anymore. They're more like spiky on the edges. And I don't know if that has something to do with the chemtrails, or it is a fake image that we're actually looking at, because they can actually portray an image wherever they want to in the sky with the help of the tower standing on the ground and whatever transmitter they have in space to work in cooperation with each other. And then they can show us whatever they want. And by that, they are also able to remain status quo and in power for a certain period of time until the white brown dwarf is coming that close that it is undeniable that there is something in the sky. But at that time, as I said in the earlier video, we are on our knees begging for food and mercy, if you get my point. This world is no longer what we used to think it is. So something strange is going on in our sky, and I will encourage you all who is listening to my voice, keep your eyes peeled to the sky. Peeled to the sky. Don't look down and count the rocks on the road. Keep an eye on that sky. You might just see something which is out of the ordinary. And if you have a smartphone, Android, iPhone, tablet, whatever, start recording and post it. Something is going on up there and it's not natural. God bless you.